Welcome back to the Grown Woman Experience. I'm so happy I got 3 subscribers. So let me tell you very quickly what the grown woman. First of all, my name is Fran Jackson, and let me tell you what the Grown Woman Experience is about. It's about grown women doing grown women stuff. For many years in my 20s, 30s, 40s, I thought I was a grown ass woman, but I wasn't. I was still experiencing things. Not that I'm not now, but I just have a handle on life right now in a whole different capacity. So this show is for women who've been there, done that, still going through it. And it's some kind of way I can motivate you or inspire you to maybe do things a little differently, or like, give yourself a pat on the back because, yeah, I'm doing that too. Yep. So that's what this show is about, just being a grown-ass woman and understanding that we got flaws and we just not perfect. We got to go through some shit so we can come out to be like, wow, yep, I made it, okay? So I want to real quickly talk about renting versus owning. Right now I am renting. I've owned a few homes. My husband and I have owned a townhouse. When we first got married, we were looking forward to live in an apartment, but at that time, I was used to living in a house. I had always lived in a house with my parents, and the type of apartments that we wanted was like astronomical amounts of money. So then I was like, let's put our money into an investment, like a home. So that's what we did. We had a real estate agent. She was showing us pre-owned homes. I didn't find anything that I liked. One day we stumbled across, with the real estate agent, a new property. And with that new property, I found out that you could pretty much take away. So I could get different countertops. I could get different cabinets, flooring, and so forth. And we had a Caucasian real estate agent, and I told her, I said, well, I want to look at some new homes. And she told me, no, you guys will never be able to get a new home. You can keep looking at these pre-owned homes. So I looked at her and I was like, you know what? You're fired. Long story short, my husband and I, on our own, we did not have a real estate agent. We found a community, a brand new up-and-coming community in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We lived in Baltimore, Maryland. We found this community. They were building new townhouses. So stumbled across it. That's what we wind up purchasing. A 3-story townhouse, 4 bedrooms. I was able to put a column in there, half wall, Berber carpet, all this. I did nothing but upgrades. I had white cabinets, and I also had pink countertops. The pink countertops was the worst move that I could have made. It was beautiful while I was in there, but it was the worst move that I could have made, because which my husband allowed me to do that because he wants to give me the world. So those pink countertops was such a hindrance. Like, we could not sell. It was difficult trying to sell. And we were having another house built, a single family house built. So anyway, we had 2 renters come in. I think it was 2 different times. That was no fun for me, because now we're landlords. I got to worry about you paying your rent one time. I got to worry about you not destroying my house. And I got to be at your beck and call, because when shit breaks down, guess who got to fix it? We do. So, eventually, we sold that property. At the same time, though, while we was in our new home, we had that other property that we was renting out. So, and sometimes, we had great tenants, but sometimes, like, they won't pay their rent on the 5th of the month. I still got to pay that rent. If you pay it on the 6th, I still got to pay that mortgage, So that was like a headache. It was just such a headache. And then in between tenants, we had to go in there, paint, clean. We was doing all of this. Why didn't I get a property manager? Because I didn't. I just didn't. It was like easy peasy. Why give money away? I think I can do it. So anyway, we wound up selling that property. Now we're in this new property, the single family home, 6 bedrooms, almost 5,000. The house was 5,000, almost 5,000 square feet. Great place to raise a family. It was huge. It was big. We had so many upgrades in there. No, I did not get pink countertops this time. I did get an intercom system. Everything was upgraded. My cabinets, lights, countertops, flooring, added windows. Like, this house was badass. It was badass. The one thing that I will share with you, I did get an intercom system. Such a fucking waste of money. Why? Because in my bedroom was the same size as my apartment. So for me to get out of my bed and walk over to the intercom system to tell my husband bring me a glass of water, I might as well walk down that flight of steps and got my own glass of water. So we left there. I wanted to sell it, but at the time that I wanted to sell, the market had did some funny shit. We was in a fixed rate. Wasn't a variable. It wasn't floating. None of that shit. It was fixed, but the market had did some funny stuff, meaning my house wasn't worth what I paid for it. So a real estate agent told me, your house is gorgeous, but stay in it for about 5 more years. The market beat and changed. Really? I'm ready to go. It was racist down there. It was a great place for our kids to be, a great place for my son to go to school. But it was racist as hell in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I'm ready to go. I waited the 5 years out. 5 years came. We might have broke a little even if we would have sold it. I was just fed up. So we did a short sale and we was out of there. We moved up to the National Harbor, like 6 minutes from DC. So we was in the DMV area. First, we was in a condo. It was badass condominium. The store, the nail salon, the market was up underneath of us. We could walk to 20 plus restaurants. The water was right there. Great friends. We were social butterflies. We was always networking, always hanging out. We could Uber everywhere. It was just great. We opened up a brick and mortar right across the bridge. The beauty of living in that condo that we both saw was like, damn, anytime something go wrong, they gonna come and fix it? Yeah. Wow. Okay. I like this. We ain't gotta fix it. If the AC break, we ain't gotta fix it. Wow. Okay. Our AC did go down on us in that 6-bedroom house and the water tank. Brand new house. I could see cracks in the walls. Not a lot. But the house had to settle. You gotta wait for your house to settle. And that 6-bedroom house was a blessing. It really was. So don't be like, oh, she's so ungrateful. I'm not being ungrateful. I'm a very intimate person. So I like everything close. That house allowed us to house like kids. My son, he just picks up strays and they was able to move with us. Something might have went wrong. Like one of his best friends, his family was displaced. Mother wanted to keep him in the same school. He moved in with us for a couple of months. My nephew moved in with us for a couple of months. Another one of my son's best friends moved in with us. One of my son's friends was homeless, moved in with us. So God put us there for a reason. Okay? So anyway, we moved to the National Harbor, stayed there for a few years. Very expensive to live there. It's a tourist area, very expensive, but it was badass. We had a great time living there. We had so much company. We had so many parties. My God, everybody wanted to come to the National Harbor. So we liked that energy. So anyway, we left there because traffic was just too bad going across that bridge. And it was one way in and one way out. And our car got vandalized in a garage. It's a little... National Harbor is nice. It's nice, but it's still a little, we there. So anyway, we left there. We went to a 2-bedroom condo right across the bridge so we'd be closer to our office. Great. It was great. 2 bedrooms. Anytime something went wrong, guess what? I ain't got to pay for shit. Only thing I gotta pay for is a light bulb when it goes out. Our kids was living there with us. My son, he moved out. We was locking horns. We actually, all of us had to go to counseling. So my son moved out. That's a whole nother show. He moved out. Yay, Mike, out on his own. And then our daughter was like, well, I'm good. I can stay here with y'all forever. You know, I guess she figured like, well, I ain't here half the time anyway. But I was like, baby girl, it's time for you to go. You gotta fly. You gotta leave the nest too. So she moved out on her own. Right before they both left, we had told them in 2 years we're moving to Florida. And they just was like, okay, whatever. 2 years is a long time from here. Y'all might change your mind. So when my daughter left, then we moved into, and the landlord wanted to sell his unit. The one at the National Harbor, the landlord wanted to sell, which they gave us first right of refusal, which we didn't want to buy because we know that eventually we're leaving. So if I had paid $500,000 for the condo at the National Harbor, I would have been stuck. I would have been having to trying to sell it or try to rent it out to somebody if I would have bought it. I don't. It's doing too much. So Eisenhower, the same thing. The landlord was ready to sell. So my husband and I moved into a studio apartment. It was 600 square feet. Our first time ever living like that. One little bathroom, one little teeny kitchen. But guess what? If I want a glass of water and I asked him to get it, and he was like, I don't feel like it. It was like 4 steps. Go get my own damn glass of water. And again, why am I going to buy that and I know I'm not staying? And again, every time something goes wrong, who does the repairs? Me? Hell no, it ain't my shit. So, yep, we left 2020. On my vision board, it says September 2020, but the pandemic allowed us to move July 2020. And so when we moved to Florida, we moved into a 2-bedroom condo there. I did not want to come to Fort Lauderdale, not knowing the area like that, and buying something. What if I didn't like it? I know how finicky I am. So anyway, we stayed there for a year. That condominium was badass. It sat right on the water. So every morning, this is me semi-retired, supposedly there. Every morning I go sit at my window and it was nothing but water and boats. It was beautiful. The condominium was old as fuck, but it had so much character. It had archways in there. It had blocked marble flooring, and it sat on the water. Like you couldn't. It was beautiful. And we was less than a mile from the beach. Yep. But it was old. And that building, it had old people in it. And we was the only blacks in there while we were in there. So needless to say, I'm out of here. And the owners wanted to sell that one. Again, for like $500,000. So we moved to where we are now. We are in our first apartment together. This is just so wonderful, you know. We're in our first apartment together. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. It's beautiful. We're right downtown Fort Lauderdale. I can walk to everything. Everything I want to get to. I walk to get my nails done. I walk to go get my wax done. I have 2 grocery stores. I can walk to probably 50 plus restaurants. I can walk to a playground. I can walk to the beach. And if something breaks in here, like my dishwasher, something happened. You think I bought a new dishwasher? Hell to the no. They bought me a new dishwasher in less than a day and a half. They was taking that dishwasher out the box. I got a new dishwasher. So every time that something goes wrong, guess who will have to fix it? Like I did when I owned my properties. Nope, I didn't got to do it. So, and if you do own, people that do own you have a mortgage. And I believe a mortgage, that word is just a fancy word for rent. Because even if you have a mortgage, you don't own your house. The bank owns it. Keep it real. The bank owns it. So you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You just renting from the bank. That's it. Now, once you own that property, you finish paying your mortgage, guess what? You own that house, but you still got to pay property tax to the state. And if you don't pay that shit, guess what they're going to do? Oh, they will take your house. Yes, ma'am. They're going to take it if you don't pay those property taxes. Oh, well, I want to buy a house for generational purposes, pass down to my kids. A lot of times kids don't even want that shit. My mother and father had a house. When they got sick, whatever, once they was getting ready to leave that house, my father had passed. My mother had to come back. Their house was in Florida. She had to come back to Baltimore. We had to sell a house. Out of us 3 girls, none of us wanted that house, nor did we want the stuff that was in it. That was their stuff. That was their house. That's how they wanted to live. So, yeah, like, what am I going to do in the future? Like, will I just always be renting? It doesn't bother me to rent. It really doesn't. You know, people say, yeah, but it's a big tax break. Man, I'm not worried about taxes. Not like that. Not to purchase a house just to have a tax break. Now, eventually, maybe in the future, I will buy another home. But right now, I don't have time. I don't want to go through all of that. I just don't. But if you do, kudos to you. And now you get to see why somebody else is renting. And down here in downtown Fort Lauderdale and probably Miami and big cities, most people are renting. They're not buying. People are just moving, coming and going. A lot of people aren't just staying still, planting right there. That sounds so old school to me, where you just plant and you stay. You just stay there. Just been there for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 20 years. No, I ain't got time for that. So anyway, this is just my grown ass experience from renting and owning, renting. It's just my experience. This is how I feel. Let me know how you feel. Drop a comment. Share the video. Please drop a comment. Just let me know how you feel. Like my stuff, my show. Subscribe. I got 3 subscribers. Yes. Thank you guys for subscribing. Share, subscribe, like, and comment. Yeah, so welcome back to the Grown Woman Experience. And guess what? Drink plenty of water. And I love you. Toodles.